What's up, long players? Welcome back to the Long Play Listening Party, the show where we go deep on local music, writing, recording, inspiration, gear, whatever else sounds good to us. Got a great show for you tonight, starting with Nate Holt, Astrali's Music. What's going on, Nate?
What's up, everyone?
Royce the Wizard Diamond, how you feeling?
I'm good, always.
Always. And we are joined by Effie Curry. Welcome, Effie.
What's up? How y'all doing? F. Curry in the building.
We're going to be listening to Effie's record, Curve My Enthusiasm, which Reach mentioned on our Best of 2021 show back in December. It was one of Reach's top 2 or 3 records. And wow. I listened to everything that anybody mentioned, and Effie's is one of the ones that really stood out to me, so we are psyched to have her on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's love.
It is love. So where do we want to start tonight? How long? Where did your musical journey begin? How long have you been making music? I'm imagining a long time.
Yeah, I mean, actually making and putting anything out, no, but like music being a part of my life forever.
Right.
I come from a very musical family. All of my sisters do music in some capacity. But I was always the quiet behind the scene ones. You know, I was helping with background vocals. I'd always been writing. I'd been a writer for a long time of just all kinds of writing. And then in late 2017, late 2018, I decided to put out my own music. So pretty late after, having done it in such a background capacity, pretty late in life, so to speak, to decide I want to be an independent artist. But I did that anyway, and it's been rolling since. It hasn't not worked out, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Very cool. And Curve My Enthusiasm, it's a fairly long record. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me, but it's 14, 15 songs.
14.
Yeah. Where did the album itself start for you?
So I actually wrote that. I had met a producer named Joe Black from Kansas City, and another producer named Tim Agutu, who actually appeared on my first EP. And we didn't even know it until we linked. He had just been a hired musician for a guitar part on one of my records, but he ended up producing on my whole next project. But we got in that studio, and it was more like I had this plan, like, okay, I have all these songs ready to go. I want to record this record. And we ended up recording none of it. We just started making those, all those tracks from scratch. So that whole album you hear, I would say out of the 14, 11 of those were made in 3 weeks. So I did that album in 3 weeks, wrote it, recorded it, produced it in 3 weeks. And I actually I released it that year, 2019, just because I was so anxious to put it out. But then it didn't have the proper marketing to it, and I knew that it was so special, and there were some additions I wanted done. So I went ahead and re-released it. I took it down, I redid it. I added 3 tracks with 3 local artists, or 4 rather, and re-released it this last year, and it's been taken off since. It's kind of gone crazy. So I'm excited.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, with your background writing for other artists, I was going to ask kind of how do you know what's an Effie song versus another? But, coming up with everything in the studio, kind of, the question's not really applicable.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, there are times where I'm asked to, or it's an assigned project to write for a specific someone, and in those cases, it is sometimes I get the chance to, and this is the ideal scenario, sit with the person and talk about what exactly do you want to say, because that already tells me this is not an Effie song because it has nothing to do with me. Sure. So ideally I get to sit with them and say what do you want to say on this track, what vibe are you going for, and then in that case I've done all kinds of genres as well, but sometimes I don't have that luxury. It's just a matter of like I have to create a dope song, and there are some songs that people I've submitted as demos to them, and they're like, why didn't you keep this for yourself? And the way I see it is the songs, they'll come to me. If it's for me, it'll be for me. If it's not, it's not. Either way, I wrote it. So what if it takes off? My name is still on it, and I'll get that. But again, I don't worry about that kind of stuff as long as legally I'm straight. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Right.
The vibes will fit. Plus, I don't want to force anything because there are some tracks that I've written, that I'm like, dang, this is dope, and like a country song. You know what I'm saying? And no one would ever hear me, F. Curry, doing a country song, but you hear the demo, you might not even know it's me. So that's when I know it's for someone else. You're not hearing the Effie vibe on it. It's got to go. Yeah. And my voice can't carry everything. I in my mind I could sing a power ballad, but when it comes time to record that demo, is not a power it's not a power ballad. In my mind it was, but it's not for real. So then I find the perfect power ballad singer, and boom, there we go. I've got my dream song, my dream ballad. I just can't sing it.
So
yeah.
so do you then do you sell those songs to other artists or do you co-produce songs that like those songs with other artists or um how does that work?
It depends. I mean, now I'm in a space where I'm being asked by people that, I don't know, whether artistically or, strangers that, just approaching me online, wanting me to write for them. I recently had someone reach out to me. There was like, I've been stalking you for like a month, and, I've done my research, and you're the person I want to write my next single, and I've never met them before. And so from there,
Okay.
so I have that, and then there are
Right.
artists, that I'm like, I want to work with this person. Like there's a record on my project called Not Mine with a local artist named Jazz, who I'm a huge fan of, and that was one of those situations where I'm like, I really want to work with her. We got in the studio, me and her, and just wrote that song together, within an hour, and it's on the album. So it just depends on the scenario. I just love to create. Obviously being paid for your art is great. But then there's some
Yeah.
moments where it's like the collaboration itself is worth it. And
Yeah.
what comes of it will pay off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you really like to work quick.
You would think, yeah. Some people say like that, it just depends. Like I would say recently I've had this like panic because like typically like a song could come to me really quickly. You play a beat or something in the studio, or like I'll have a melody. Like my album, for example, like that was when I was, working 2 jobs full time. And then, so I knew my time in the studio, I had to make it work. So I work in between my lunch breaks. I was writing the songs. And if I didn't go in the studio and have something to record that day, I would feel like a failure. Now it's like, I feel like maybe I've given myself too much, like, oh, I have a studio at my disposal all the time. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, I have to create the sense of urgency now of like, act like you'll never get that studio back tomorrow. So it's a balance. You go through lulls. Like I don't like to force stuff either, just because there are some times where like I'll have 2 lines for a song and that'll be all I have for, a week. And then there's some weeks where I have like a song a day or multiple songs a day. It's just, it is what it is.
Sure. I thought when you said you had 2 lines for like a week, my brain was going years because I'll have 2 lines for years.
Yeah, I had somebody bring me. They were like, "Yeah, I have this idea that I've been working with for like a few years, and I've been sitting on it. And I'm thinking I'm about to get like a full song." And they gave me 4 lines, and it didn't even have a melody. It was just the words, and I was like, "Oh, this is different." So then I come up with the song in an hour. So, but it just depends. It really does depend. I'm my own worst critic. So like, if I don't create something, I feel like a failure. I'm not gonna lie. If I can't do it, like that's what I'm having to get used to as a writer now. Is like sometimes, like especially industry, like they don't need a whole song. Like that's just kind of like wasting your time. They just want to hear a good verse and a hook. But I'm like, if we wrote one good verse and a hook, why wouldn't we just write a full song? Like, who wants a half song? Like nobody wants. Like I
That's
don't.
like
But
that's like the attention level thing of people nowadays. It's like,
oh, I know. If it's not for TikTok, God.
right.
I'm not into making
Right.
TikTok songs, although don't be surprised if you hear something I wrote on TikTok very soon.
Well, I mean, that's not, that can be a viable place if you've got something and you've got a catchy song or a song, a good song that people like and can take off on that.
Yeah,
That's
it can
great.
be. It's been a little discouraging.
But if you're if you come from writing a song like, okay, I want, I'm gonna go for TikTok on this. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a good energy to write a song on. Trust me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't. I've had that direction given to me before from certain things, and it's just not. I can do it, but it's not a space I like to create from at all. It's just nothing ever cool from me has come from that. It might work for the artist, but it can be weird. I mean, I don't like to operate based off of like industry standards, but it is becoming more of a thing. Like working with other people, they're like, all right, we're gonna keep this song to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then this particular piece is, and it's like, I'm just worried about, does the song move me and does it flow? Does it, or does it say something? Like I start there, and then it's like the industry's like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't.
Go be an artist. Go be an artist. We have business to run.
I guess you don't. I don't ever set or would never think of setting a timer and trying to keep a song out or something. A lot of the time songs that I write they'll come out at like 2:45 or 3 minutes or something like that, and
yeah,
and they'll be cool, and I'll go and find someone to collaborate with, and they'll end up being really cool. But the short, being short and that format wasn't the point of the song at the beginning.
I just think about what would Prince say if I was like, hey, we got to keep this song to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I know the vibe is right, but let's cut it off.
I feel you, but if my biggest problem was that somebody wanted to pay me to cut that shit off at 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
No, listen, like I said, I can meet the task. It can be done. That's why I have Effie the singer songwriter, or the singer and Effie the songwriter. Like for hire, yes, you need 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to give you the best 2 minutes and 30 seconds ever that I can give you. For me as an artist, for my album, I'm not going to limit myself based on like radio, anything. Like I can't, my soul cannot do it. It doesn't make me any better of an artist than anybody, because trust me, some of my favorite artists are the most commercial artists ever. And they, they are the industry standard for those kinds of things. But I just never have created for myself personally. That has never yielded any good fruit for me. So, yeah. There's that.
Talk about the fruit, Nate. Send us some fruit.
Yeah, give us some music.
All right.
What do we listen to, Nate?
All right, so this is
you start panicking. You're like, oh my God, like, am I ever gonna find anything? Not just like love.
This is And So It Begins.
Like a pure form of anything, like joy, peace. Yes, the intro. Anything like that, and then you just start to like either like give up completely, or you start compromising what your vision of that is. Although it's kind of, I don't know, I guess you shouldn't have any vision of it. You should have zero expectations, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's the whole point. Like, when you have expectations, you set yourself up for heartbreak and for failure. But there's a way to do it without being jaded or like hating the world, Like I feel like I know how the world is, but I know love, and that's always been the better option. Always, like, even if it's lonely. It's always been the better option.
Really picked up right what we were talking about.
Where's the instrumentation coming from? Is it live or sampled?
Yeah, so I was definitely blessed. The producers on my album, of course, all phenomenal. Phenomenal, like guitarist phenom Tim Ogutu, definitely. And then what was cool about that intro and then the outro was my album I had already in my head. I was like, okay, I'm ready to upload. Everything is ready to go. And then I walk in, and one of the producers of the album is like, I feel like you need an intro, an interlude, and an outro. And this is like the day I'm ready to upload. And I was like, bet. And so like I scoured through my phone, and I found this particular voice memo that I had recorded on my phone, probably one day where I was just being emo, you know, about life and, you know, going through something, and I wanted to use it for like a song or something. I don't know what it was for, but I send that over, and then I come in, and the next day he's like, oh, and I also thought you needed saxophone, and there's a saxophone player there. So I was like, this is a dream come true.
Right.
Yeah. Her name is Neoma Linnea. She's a local saxophone artist. Her and I are actually getting ready to perform together next Monday at Soul Sessions. And that's how her and I met. She just, she listened to the intro, and she said, I just played what I thought you were feeling. And that's what we went through, and I've been working with her since. It was a really dope moment. Like I had never, you know, my EP before that, you know, I was looking for beats on YouTube till 4 a.m., you know, trying to make my own EP. I was self-producing my own EP. And then suddenly I've got someone who's like, all right, you need a saxophone. Here's a saxophone player recording. I'm like, this is like my music dreams come true, you know? So now I'm spoiled when it comes to making music. I'm like, if it's not live, I mean, do I want it on my record? But no, I'm definitely blessed musically for sure. And she definitely nailed the emotion I was going for with, you know, what she played. So
speaking of live, the drums on this, are these live drums?
On the bounce and bass drums, those are not on those intro drums. That's one of my favorite moments on the album. Like that's like whenever I perform that track live, whatever drummer I work with, I'm like, if you can't nail that drum pattern at the beginning, we're not doing this. Like that is how it's set off. But no, those in particular are not live drums, but they sound pretty cool, huh?
I was gonna say
the producers killed that. They definitely killed.
No. I feel like it's got that halftime feel, but with that, you know, that snare roll.
Yeah,
you know, it teaches that double time, but it's just that, like, I guess, and I'm lousy at like bars and beats and shit, but like that snare roll hints at that double time, like the first beat, and like lays off on like the third. But that's what I love, that groove. That's dope as shit.
Yeah, there's a local drummer named Church Boy. He's also an artist. He's one of the only drummers that I've worked with who can really nail that. And I'm getting ready to film an entry for a Tiny Desk competition. And
hell yeah!
And this is one of the tracks, and he's in my band, so I'm hoping to nail this one. Like this is I have like a top-notch band, and like we're going in Sunday to film it, and I'm just super excited for that particular moment.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that is what's up.
Fingers crossed I get that. Yeah, that bounce and bass. That was one of the first tracks I did for the album.
That's kind of a Prince thing too, to put the snare not on both 2 and 4, right? Just 4, and I don't have a particular song in mind right now, but I like how Let's Go Crazy drops that last snare beat.
Uh-huh.
Super funky.
You can hear my obsession with Chopped and Screwed on this album.
Mhm.
That's my dream. The whole album chopped, not slopped. Yeah, I can get that done.
Sure, you can get that done.
Oh yeah, it's happening. That's my dream. It's gonna happen.
See, I can travel across the world, and I'll still come back again.
He plays keys for you.
A lot of different people. I believe on this track it would have been Tim Ogutu. He does everything. He does pretty much plays every single thing you can imagine.
It's in your soul.
Yeah, this is one of the first tracks he sent to me, and I was and one of those where I came in that night after working all day and was like, I got it, let's go. A lot of these, and this is not me like bragging about it at all, because now I don't honor this because now my next album I want to be very detailed, more detailed than I did. But like a lot of these were just one takes all the way through, because I would force myself to memorize it like while throughout the day, and if I couldn't nail it in one take, I wouldn't want to do it. So then it was after the fact, it was kind of cleaning up some stuff here and there with punch-ins, but really I like the organic feel of stuff, you know, just let it be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like we brought in a new year. I told myself I ain't bringing with me those old fears. Promised mama soon they gon' all be happy tears. Seen the ones that's looking like, does she even go here? Yeah, I've been here. I just been hiding. Baby, I've been writing. Waiting on God's timing. Feeling like Kanye locked in for 3 summers. 5 songs a day. This ain't no quick come up. I've been putting in my 10,000 hours. All along been trying to give the right ones they flowers, and I'm out here just trying to make my way. I'm singing songs hoping that y'all can relate, because I know that eventually it's gon' pay. And yeah,
I missed if we talked about anything beforehand, but do you play any instruments or anything?
I did not. I only I played the clarinet in growing up. Although I'll always tell the story about how I wanted to be a drummer and they didn't choose me because my junior high teacher didn't believe in girl drummers, which was horrible, right?
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? So she put me on the clarinet. I was like, of all things, no offense to the clarinet, but I would have been a badass drummer. But that was my fault for letting her kill my dream. That's why I'm a rapper now. No. So yeah, no, I wish I'm working on learning to play the keys, you know, so that I can play my songs anywhere I go. Plus, as you know, I always bring up Prince for pretty much everything as the standard of music, and he says you're not a real artist if you can't play at least one instrument. So I'm not even an artist yet. So. I got work. Well, the clarinet counts, okay, for something.
Yeah.
I played the clarinet and the bass clarinet, okay. So I was an advanced clarinet player.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not gonna be one to disagree with Prince, but man, you know, I know rappers and singers who, you know, they're damn artists, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. No, I know.
You know, as far as, you know, language and words and being able to communicate feelings and thoughts and emotions. Like there's a you know, that's hard to do.
Yeah, same thing. Like I struggled with even calling myself a producer recently until people around me that I respect as producers are like, no, you produce. Just because you don't make beats or play an instrument, you know, you vocally arrange, you come up with the movement of songs melodically where it goes. You have the ideas that you can express them, and then to musicians to create what you want. That's producing. You know, it's
valuable.
Yeah, so producing, while it is a vague title, you know, I still to me it is a big title, so I don't take it so lightly. Like, yeah, I produce, you know, like But now I feel a little more comfortable saying that. I haven't seen myself in rooms create vibes from scratch, you know, and really vocalize what I want. I can feel comfortable saying, yeah, I produce on my own records too.
No, I definitely feel that. Because I think you look up to people, and you know,
you make me want to stick around for the pain. I know it's,
and they are, you know, they're so, you know, so far ahead of you in what they do, and they're producers. So, you know, if you're like, okay, I produced this song, it's like, yeah, I made this song, you know, I didn't produce it, you know, I came up with it, you know,
right,
it's like
there's beat makers.
You feel like kind of a fraud by saying I produced something.
Yeah, exactly. It's so specific and so special. I mean, I've seen beat makers and I've seen producers. There's a difference there. So that's why it's hard for me, because somebody can, and even with myself collaborating when I work with other producers, I'm very like particular in terms of like I can tell who has just beats they think I would sound good on, but can't produce me on them, if that makes sense. They have no direction for it on how they might think I could sound, or how they can push me vocally, what it should be arranged like. It's just a cool beat, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, okay, now we've got to bring a producer in possibly, or I've got to do it myself, or we got to arrange this to how do we make it a record. You know, we can come up with some lyrics and have a good beat, but how do we make it a record? That's such a specific thing that I'm learning, and it's an art. That's what makes Quincy Jones, you know, making a record. Man, these songs take me back to a time and a place.
Where did they take you?
You said the first release was 2017?
2019.
2019, okay.
Yeah, and then it came back 2020. I took it down for like 6 months or so and redid it, added tracks to it, came out with the deluxe version, which is now the real version of it, to me, the real complete version. Yeah, so that particular space in life, I was going through a lot, changes wise, so in a lot of different ways, specifically in like relationships and my career. So this album takes me to a very special place. Yeah.
And a real specific place, I imagine, with the 3 weeks in the studio and writing most of the songs in that period. Like that's real condensed.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally like, you know, rolling into the studio. You know, sometimes I would get off of work at like 10 o'clock. Sometimes later than that, because I was working at a club part-time as well after, to make more money for studio time at the time. But now, in this case, I didn't have to make any studio money, so I was just working late, would leave the studio sometimes 5, 6 in the morning, sometimes later, and roll out of bed a few minutes later again and do it all over again. So it was a very, a lot of it was probably created out of like delusion from lack of sleep, but it kind of, it worked in my favor. You know, like the song Higher was probably like, you know, like, or this song right here, like where it starts to like, excuse me if I zoned out, but what the fuck is you talking about? That was literally me like having a conversation with my ego one night, where like, you know, where I got maybe smoked a little too much trying to survive in the studio and was like having, you know, a few too many thoughts. And so I was trying to tell myself, a lot of people think that's like a diss record towards a specific person, but it's really me and my ego battling back and forth on that song. A lot of interesting moments that this album brings up for me.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Nothing on earth's here to stay. People gonna walk away. Some out here ain't what they claim.
It's an interesting like story for the record, because I mean, I hear you're working hard, you're pushing so hard in that time period. But man, the record just floats. It sounds cool, it sounds confident, it sounds
learning that time is the true treasure. It's just one
masterful, I guess. I mean, just this feeling of control, but not like holding tight. You know, the opposite of that. Just floating along.
Yeah.
Totally in whatever atmosphere that is. And that would be really hard. That would be really hard for me to create under pressure if I could do it at all. You know, just that type of feeling.
Yeah, I mean that's that's perfect that you say that, and that makes me happy because it kind of gives me, tells me that I titled the record appropriately, "Curve My Enthusiasm," because that concept of kind of like that, just go with it, like go, you know, it just has like that flow was kind of the realization I had come to in life. Curve my enthusiasm, meaning like, you know, I had this, I can sometimes have this naive hope about a lot of things in life, you know, even when it comes to, I mean, if you can hear me speak about my music and my dream, the way I speak in a very grandiose way, it's like, you know, like I'm very Kanye West inspired in that way, but it was like, there was so many ways in that life would remind me of like, psych, that is not how this works. So that's where the curve, you know, life would curve me all the time, so to speak, whether in my personal relationships or in my professions. And it was kind of me saying maybe that was just because I was always trying to control the situations as opposed to just going with it, which is why these songs, I tried not to overthink them. I just went in and was like, yeah, I do have all these songs that I'm ready to record and they sound great and I have a plan and I have all these 5 albums planned out, but let's see what can happen if we just vibe out in the studio and have a good time. What could come of that? And to me, these songs were better than anything else I had brought with me into the studio. So it was like, that's exactly what I was going for, is that effortlessness of what happens when you just let go and let the music and your gift do its thing.
My love was priceless, can't buy with diamonds, no. My love is special, won't wait till you're faithful, no.
There goes 808 slides.
Yeah, this is more of a modern kind of production. Nice change of pace.
This was my radio hit. This is what I wanted it to be. If I was going to have one, I would say this would be my one that, you know, has kind of blown up, so to speak, in Kansas City as my, when people see me like, oh, you're that Gamble girl. which I don't mind. It's not a big deal.
Cool.
That's all right, man.
Just listening to my music.
Hell yeah.
I'd rather be the Gamble girl.
He said he wanna look me in my eyes, say I'm sorry and admit all of the lies. Said my love just took him by surprise. Probably just want these thighs, like he could fuck his way to penance. Knowing if I did it, I'd regret it. Cause I ain't like these other chickens. Fuck 'em good once, then you got 'em grinning. Cause I know I ain't your type. I'm trying to be a wife. I'm looking for a soulmate, someone to build a life. So I'ma just focus on me. You could catch me on TV, doing my thing. Top down, screaming out money, anything. You want my trust, better get that ring.
Royce, get in here. I know you're just kind of absorbing everything, but tell us what you're.
Yeah, it's like the quiet one is always the one I want to be like, what are they thinking? What are they thinking about my music?
This is my second time through, so I'm enjoying it from a different vantage point, you know?
Thank you. I hope it's good. No.
Yeah. When I was listening to it, I was thinking, like, I want to hear the conversation that goes along with it, like, get to know you, you know? So this is dope for me.
And I appreciate y'all having me again. This is cool to listen to it again with different ears, too, you know?
Took a chance and you gambled on me. Took a chance and you gambled on me.
So did they have beats already when you came to the studio, or how did that go?
Some of these, I was the two producers that I worked with on this album, it was again like I would just be like, send me beats, send me beats, send me beats. And then, or a lot of it was, or like they'll send me a loop. Like the song Lover was made off of like a little, like, I think 15-second loop that I had. And I had just listened to like a bunch of Marvin Gaye and Al Green. And I was like, I want to write a sweet love song. This loop is perfect for it. And then I went in and we did all that. So it was just, sometimes it was like they had a full beat and I went home with it or went to work with it. Other times we just created from scratch. Like the song Higher was completely from scratch. The song Love You Down, it was just, I just started singing something over a loop they started playing in the studio. It was just a mixture of things. I was blessed and still am blessed where like now I have like, you know, drives to pull up beats from. I don't have to go to YouTube. Occasionally I do still go to YouTube. I can't lie, just to see what's out there and what's going on.
You said that I was. How many people in the studio when you're in? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Royce.
I was just gonna say, how many people in the studio when you were creating this record?
For the most part, unless it was a feature that was on the track, it was just me, myself, and I, and Tim and Joe. That was it. This was like February. I want to say like January 20th through February 17th was kind of like the record. The time was made, and then that's literally right before COVID.
Okay.
And so then I ended up, once COVID shut everything down, literally I was just shut down in the studio with these two guys for literally like, yeah, right. Like what a horrible way to spend COVID.
Yeah.
Like that was my life that's been my life is, you know, I actually haven't even left that space for the last 3 years. My second home is, I'm barely ever home anywhere. Like to catch me at home is like rare. Like I go to work or go to the studio. That's it.
Gotcha.
Word.
Now I'm trying to mix it up. It's like I need new album material. I can't. Yeah. No one wants to hear me write 17 songs about being in the studio and first world problems. My first world problems. I need to live some life. Something to talk
I was about to say, this track, I loved how you did a little, you know, you switched up. That's Brandy, isn't it, or Monica?
Yeah, the Brandy and Monica song. Yeah. Yes,
that's that up.
Which was a remake of the Michael and Paul McCartney song.
See, it's a remake of a remake of.
Yeah. No, that's super dope. That's super dope. When I first heard that song, I was like, that is super dope.
Thanks.
You did that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, we literally were just kind of like having the conversation about how some of the songs we listen to, like now as women, like some of the songs I listened to growing up, I'd be like, I would never do that. Like if the conversation is like the boy is mine, for example, there's two women fighting over a guy who's cheating on both of them.
Right.
The song would not exist with me. Like, and the other women that were with me, like Jazz, agreed. Where like the song would be over in one line. Like, you can have him. You can have him.
This song.
That's where the song came from. We're like, realistically, what would women say now about some of these songs that we love? I'm not fighting over Mekhi Phifer in the hallway. No, we're not arguing over this man. You could have him. He's yours. That's my song. He's yours.
Boy's yours.
That's what's up.
Not mine. He's yours. Oh Lord. But yeah, that's where this track came from. Oh yes, this interlude.
Yeah, this is the one you said you had to have an interlude.
Yeah, that one was Tim, the guy that I was telling you about that also produced on this album. I was like, okay, Joe said, that's why it's called Joe Said We Need an Interlude, because that's literally exactly what it was. Joe said we need an interlude. Tim was up for the task. By 3 a.m., we had an interlude. He had a beat in my email. I wrote that verse. You know, I had to write an interlude to give him a bonus. That's where that came from. It was like, I'm not wasting any time. You said I need an interlude, say less. Tomorrow morning, it's in your inbox. Let's go. This album is coming out right now. I'm not wasting any time.
But yeah, so that's that's the first half of that record.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, what we did, we split it into two halves, and so we can continue a conversation, and then I guess whatever. What the show is we record like either the first half of a record or whatever we're gonna do, and then we wait till next week and we bring up the second half. So that's the end of the first half. So, but that was kind of my first time listening to it all the way. I listened to like the intro. I listened to track number 7. That was super dope. But I was really interested to know how you brought or how you got your beats and how you kind of wrote those songs and kind of brought them out. And so it sounds like you did a lot of that just kind of in the studio with a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty cool moment. I'll never forget. I always tell people if I don't get to put out, and that's not the case, thankfully, but if I don't get to put out any other album, I would say for my first album, that's pretty cool. It came out pretty cool. I can't lie. And
Yeah.
I'm super, super blessed to work with really cool people on it. So, but the blessing is that it's not, and that there was so much more music made during that time that I haven't even put out. So I'm excited for people to hear that. Hopefully you guys can come out to a show one day. I'm going to perform at the Ship on March 26th. So hopefully you guys can come out.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
So just we'll see what happens, and I appreciate you guys even taking the time to listen and share it. That means a lot to me for sure.
No. I mean, we heard good things about your record from a lot of people, and I definitely want to come see a show. I'll keep in mind March 26th, and I try to keep up to date on stuff. The Bridge and KKFI, they're really good about talking about local stuff. So definitely I think the three of us, if we can arrange something, we'd like to come out and see shows.
For sure.
Yeah. So
What time
hopefully
does
we
that
can
show
catch that one.
start?
It starts at 9, I believe. I think I go on at 10.
Okay.
It's myself and the Black Creatures. We did a show there.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We did a show there last time, and it was super, super successful. So they asked me to come back out and do another one with them. So I'm excited, and we had a really great crowd. It was a new crowd for me too, so I was super excited, and to see people I had never met before singing my songs is always wild to me. So I'm just each time I got a little thug tear,
Yeah.
Is
I saw the Black Creatures for the first time at venue 1235 of the Lawrence, and that was worth it for sure. So
they're pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also playing at the Replay Lounge next Thursday at in Lawrence for the first time. So we'll see. I haven't taken my music to Lawrence yet, so we'll see.
Next Thursday at the Replay, you said?
Yep, next Thursday at the Replay Lounge.
If are you starting first?
I go. They said they have other people opening for me, so we'll see. I'll have to check out the event. They said it starts at, or I go. It's a matinee show, so I'd go on at 8.
Oh, okay. So you might not be playing till like I think those matinees are like 8 to 11 or something.
Okay.
Or something. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I think I'm just trying to think. I might be up in Lawrence that night, so if it works out, I
haven't
might
been to Lawrence in so long. Everyone's been telling me you need to take your music to Lawrence and see what happens.
Oh, you sure do. The replay is a great. The replay is a good place. If you hook up with the right, bill, Lucia is a great place for live. I mean, they got a great system. They got a great sound guy.
Mhm.
Replay, I think the sound guy that does most of the shows there is super good.
Mhm.
So both those places are some good spots to go to.
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully,
sure.
hopefully next year I'll be on some of these big festivals in KC. Hopefully that's the plan. So we'll see what happens. We shall
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I just want to perform as much as I possibly can in the next year. Really perfect my live show. That's my biggest thing.
Mhm.
Is I want to be as good live as I am on the record. So making that happen. Yeah.
Sure. That's a perfect segue. Effie, where can people, find you online, listen to your music, and follow you on social media so they get
Yeah.
updated about all this stuff?
Yes, so you can follow my Instagram or my Twitter at F Curry. That's EFF Curry, Curry, like Steph Curry. But
Mhm.
you can follow me there. You have a link to all my F Curry. I don't miss.
Yeah.
But there's links in my bios on both of those how to get to my music. But you can stream it on all streaming platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, pretty much everything. Is Napster still a thing? You could probably find it there. LimeWire, download me illegally on LimeWire. No virus included. But you can find Curve My Enthusiasm under FEEFFIE. Check it out and share it with a friend, por favor. That'd be great. That's it.
Perfect. And we will be back next week with the second half of Curve My Enthusiasm. Been the Long Play Listening Party. Here, y'all.
Thank you. Peace. Appreciate y'all.